So I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they had some questions about my channel. Like how do I come up with ideas and things like that. But also they want to know, isn't it really expensive to get started doing this? And the reality is no. So the purpose of this video is kind of inspired by that, is to talk about how I basically got this channel started for round about $100. Yeah, literally $100, using things that I already owned. So it's been a really easy, seamless process. So why don't we get started? The first thing to understand really is, what kind of content are you looking to create? In my particular case, I create three types of videos. I create shorts, quite a few of those. Majority of them are about my ferrets, so feel free to check those out. The second is essentially videos like this, kind of talking head commentary type videos, which are in general quite simple. And these were all done very, very cheaply. The third, and this did require an investment on my part on a different type of camera, is I do action videos, right? So one of my big passions is cycling. And so I record some of my rides and then do a little bit of ride and chat as we're kind of going along. And that required me to actually spend a not insignificant amount of money. So let's talk about what it takes really to record shorts. Do you have a cell phone? You do. Good. Well, you're good to go then. Literally, all my shorts are recorded on my cell phone. I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max. And yeah, all of that stuff is done on the fly. Sometimes I do a little bit of editing on it, but most of the time it's capturing footage of my ferrets doing goofy things. So there's not a lot of room to do any kind of edits. So for me, it's a matter of you record it, maybe you add some music to it, and you fill out your tags and all of that type stuff, and you're out the door. No money. It costs nothing to do that because I already have them. The second type of video, the talking head type video, that kind of like this one, requires a little bit more of an equipment thing. I mean, I suppose I could do it just straight off the phone and that would be fine. But in my case, I went out and I bought a tripod. And with that tripod, it also came with, and this is really, really handy, a little clicker. So I can start and stop the camera, create multiple shots and things like that. And that's just been a godsend, because I don't know about you, but I can't talk for 10, 15 minutes straight and have it be even remotely close to coherent. So as a result, I do certain sections, I hit the clicker, and we're pretty much good to go. And then move on to the next one, and then I'll get to editing in a little bit. The other thing that is pretty important is the audio quality of these particular videos. Now, as of now, I've been doing everything with just the onboard microphone within the iPhone. But I did purchase this. It's a wireless microphone system, which I will be experimenting with, kind of going forward. I'm just a big doofus and forgot to order the adapter kit. So, once the adapter kit comes, then I can kind of play with it. But what I find is, again, this is going to be kind of part and parcel to the editing portion of this, is I can boost the audio, and it's perfectly fine. The tripod that I showed you before, that was about 25 bucks. And, this microphone doodad, that was like 25 bucks. So what are we at? 50 bucks to create two particular kinds of videos. Pretty good bargain, I should think. As far as lighting is concerned, I use natural light. I use the light that's in my office, and it's not the best, I freely admit, but I also use natural light through my window, and I find it gives a bit of a warmer feel than kind of the harsh ring lights. The tripod came with a ring light, and it's absolutely horrible. It looks like you're being constantly flash bulbed. So I'm not a real big fan of that. But I am always open to looking at new and improved ways to kind of light my videos, but that'll come in time. Now, when it comes to filming the action videos, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. It's really difficult and frankly dangerous to ride while holding a phone up and trying to record and do all of those things. You don't need distractions. You need to be able to pay attention to what you're doing. So what I purchased was this thing here. It is a Insta360 camera, and it basically will record a 360 degree video for you. It has a pretty good microphone, so I've been using the onboard mic for now while I'm doing things. I can go and use the wireless microphones with like a little wind doodad on it, and I plan on doing that come springtime when I go back outside to ride. I'll be riding indoors probably for the next 5 months or so. As kind of a separate purchase with the Insta360, I also purchased the remote for it. It mounts on my handlebars and allows me to start and stop the camera whenever I want. It's a lot easier than trying to fiddle around with all the buttons and things like that. And frankly, that has really kind of streamlined the workflow because, again, you're not fiddling around, you're not reaching forward, it's not coming up in your shot and stuff like that. So it makes the shots a lot cleaner. So let's talk about the editing process. And there's 3 different types of videos, and each of them have their own kind of workflow. The first being the shorts. The shorts, they're super duper easy. You know, I record it, I add some tags to it, and it's out the door. It really doesn't require a lot of technical skill. The second, the talking head videos. Everything I do, I edit on an M2 Mac Mini. I already had it. It's my primary computer for just doing ordinary things, so it didn't cost me anything. I take all the footage from the iPhone and I airdrop it to the Mac Mini, and then I use iMovie, which is a free app in the Apple ecosystem, to kind of put it all together. As far as kind of getting the sound quality the way it should be, I'm able to boost the audio during production, and as a result, the audio doesn't sound like, you know, I'm kind of in a tunnel. Also, because most of the stuff that I'm recording, these talking head videos, are in an office that's rather small with a lot of objects, so there's not echo or anything like that. Now, when it comes to doing the action footage shot on the Insta360, what I have to do is I have to use Insta360 Studio first to edit it, you know, whether it be shorten it, change the angles and things like that. And then from there, I send it to the multiple clips into iMovie and combine them all together. And then when it comes to creating the thumbnails, I use Canva. You don't have to. I mean, I do have a license for it. There's a number of free tools you could use to create them, or you can even kind of go with the tools that that YouTube provides kind of built into the app. You can let AI just kind of generate it for you. Either way, you can get away with doing essentially this stuff for free, which makes life a heck of a lot easier. And if you happen to be on the Windows ecosystem, there's plenty of similar choices on the Windows ecosystem that are free to use and will get you where you need to be. So when it comes to editing, there's a lot of trepidation about that, right? You see tutorials where people have this giant window open and all these little streams kind of going back and forth and things like that, and it looks absolutely terrifying. The reality is it doesn't have to be. You can make it as complex or as simple as you want. I tend to prefer the simple because for me, simple is best. You know, that's what I like. So, you know, don't be daunted by it. There's tons of tutorials both on YouTube, other places, and if you know, you know, you may know young people or whatever around, and they seem to know this stuff kind of inherently. I mean, if I have a question, I ask my son, and you know, he's a wizard at it, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, it's just like this, 2 keystrokes, and boom, you're finished." So don't be afraid of it. And what's the worst thing that can happen, right? You go and start to edit, and it looks like crap. Well, guess what? You can start over, and that's part of the learning process. And you know, that's actually the part of the process that I actually enjoy the most. I enjoy creating, and I enjoy kind of putting it all together. So in conclusion, you know, it doesn't cost a fortune to start this stuff up, right? It cost me less than $100 to create essentially the bulk of my content. Yes, I had to invest money to do my action content, but for doing ordinary day-to-day stuff, it's perfectly fine to use cheap things, and you probably have all the equipment in your house. So there really is no excuse to get started. You know, we all have a voice. We all have a story that we want to tell. We may think it's not interesting, but guess what? It's interesting to someone out there. And why not just put it out there? It's not going to kind of create havoc for you. You know, like I said before, I enjoy the creative process. I also know that, you know what, there's more than one person out there that enjoys the type of things that I do. And that's kind of awesome. And if I can connect with a couple of them, that just makes me pleased as punch. So, you know, what I would say is give it a try. It's not expensive. It's a heck of a lot of fun. And you'll also find that your mind kind of expands because you're constantly thinking of new and interesting ideas. So with that being said, I'm going to bid you adieu from this video. If you like this video, by all means, like it. If you want to kind of look at some of my other content, sure, please do. And, you know, if you do want to, please do subscribe. Helps the channel grow. That being said, bye-bye for now.